Alrighty, in today's video we're going to pull out the 6.5 PRC. Now, just in the last video we shot the 123 grain SST and my Savage 110 6.5 Creedmoor, and they shot like garbage. So I thought, well, what would be better than 6.5 Creedmoor? Well, obviously a little bit more velocity with 6.5 PRC for hunting. So looking at the low day, it looks like we should get these up to about 3,200 feet per second, which should be a butt kicker. Now, we're going to use H4831sc, Hornady 6x fired brass, and the CCI number 34. Chose 4831 because it is one of the Hotchkiss stream powders, and for any hunting situation, temp stable powder is always the best. We're going to start out at 55.7, and we're going to work our way up to 57.7. Going to try to cover a little bit of the spectrum here and see if we can get some good data. Now, we're going to shoot these today at 2.9 inches cartridge overall length, which fit the magazine really well, and also not really anywhere near the lands. Now, I've never shot any of the 120 class bullets out of the 6.5 PRC, so I'm not sure what's going to happen, but based on Hornady's low data, it looks like this should go well. Also, reading online, it looks like the SST will expand from like 3,300 down to 1,600, so potentially this would be a very flat shooting, nicely expanding bullet to shoot some whitetails this fall. But it will depend on how they shoot, so let's get on the range and let's see how they shoot. Alrighty, so we're out here on the range. This is my 24-inch Bergara B14 HMR chambered in 6.5 PRC. It's got a 24-inch barrel, 1 1/8 twist. The gun is nice and clean, and the gun is also cold. It is about 85 degrees out with pretty high humidity today, but there is no wind to speak of. Should be a decent day to shoot. Shooting the 123 grain SST. Target is at 100 yards, getting velocity through our lab radar. Not a good start there for accuracy. Alright, so terrible start there for group size. Let's see what our velocity looked like. Alright, so that one had an average of 30.62 with a 8.2 SD. So velocity numbers look good. Let's see if those groups are going to tighten up. Alright, looks like we got 2 out of the 3 to group together, so maybe that's an improvement. Let's take a look at our velocity numbers there. Alright, that one was 30.90 with a 5.4 SD. So again, good consistent velocity. Group just doesn't look any good. Let's move on up. Alright, so that's probably our best group of the day so far, but still not anywhere near where we want to be. Let's take a look at our velocity there. Alright, so that one we were looking at 31.19 feet per second with an SD of 7.1. Alright, let's go ahead and move on up to this next load here. Hopefully things tighten up. Holy smokes. Alright, so definitely disappointed with the results so far. Let's see what our velocity looked like on that one. Alright, so that one was 31.43 average with a 10/8 SD. Alright, so barrel's kind of warm, but we got 3 shots left. We're going to go ahead and shoot them. Not expecting anything great here anyway. Let's see how they will group.
Alright, so it looks like we ended up getting up to 3164 feet per second with an SD of 7.7. Velocity numbers looked good across the board. Just looks like the accuracy just wasn't there today. So let's get over there. Let's check out the target.
Alrighty, so taking a look at our target here, pretty disappointing results overall. The first group at 55.7 grain shot 3,062 feet per second, 8.2 SD, and a 1.8 inch group. Moving on to 56.2 grains, we shot 3,090 feet per second, 5.4 SD, and a 9.9 inch group. Moving on to 58.7 grains, we shot 3,119 feet per second, 7.1 SD, and 0.94 inch group. And moving on to 57.2, we shot 3,143 feet per second, 10.8 SD, and the worst group of the day at 2.8 inches. And our last group of the day at 57.7 grains, we shot 3,164 feet per second, 7.7 SD, and a 2-inch group. So looking at our velocity, very happy with that. We were in the range that we wanted between 3,100 and 3,200 feet per second, and our SDs looked great across the board. However, with those groups, we started out with, kind of some decent groups, I guess, just around an inch for 3 shots, which isn't great, but not terrible. And then those last 2 opened way up to 2 and 3 inches. Now, looking at the bullet holes, especially on that 57.7 grain load, it definitely doesn't look like the bullets are flying stable through the air. I don't know if they're coming apart or if they're just, a little bit of wobble through the air. Now, not really sure why this would be happening. This is a 1 in 8 twist, 123 grain bullet. I would think that, the bullet would be very stable, but definitely looking at a couple of those bullet holes on those groups to the right, they don't look like the normal bullet holes I see in my groups. So I'm guessing that the 123 grain SST is not going to work in this barrel either. So I don't know, I guess maybe the only other gun I have to try would be the 6.5 Grendel. Now, in the past I used this bullet last year hunting in my other 6.5 Creedmoor, my Mossberg, and they shot really well. So interestingly enough, can't get them to shoot in my 2 guns that shoot the best. So not sure what we're going to try next. I did find a box of the 120 grain Spear Gold Dots that I had left over from last year. Kind of didn't remember that I had them. We may give those a try because those have proved to expand really well on game. Taking a look at our brass, there's really nothing to see here. You'll notice some ejector swipes on this brass, but most of them are old since this is now the 6th or 7th time that we fired this brass. But again, I don't think we're going to work up any with this because as we got with the higher velocities, it looked like the groups fell apart. So in the next video, we'll probably try something else. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you all who have subscribed, and we'll see you next time.